Here, in all his majesty, is the new Pod 2. It comprises of 3 or 4 pieces. I say 3 or 4 because the stem of the plant does detach from the jacket. As you can see from its spread out nature, it's not as combined and compact as the original Pod 2. This is for a number of reasons. The key reason is that it eradicates all of the complicated mechanics that were interior to Pod 2. The original Pod 2 was relatively easy to put on, with the performer's right arm accessing the puppet and the trailing arm of the jacket then donned either by themselves or with the help of a dresser. This pod, within its simplicity, is more challenging to get into, and so the use of a dresser with the puppeteer is highly recommended. It makes the application of the puppet a lot easier and a lot less challenging for the puppeteer. The benefit is that once the puppet is applied to the puppeteer, the weight of the puppet is entirely taken on the torso, whereas the original Pod 2, the entire weight of the puppet was on the puppeteer's hand. The puppet is applied with the aid of a harness, a hygiene sock, a belt, and a jacket containing a false arm and the puppet, and of course the plant pot. The puppet is held in position on the plant pot with the use of a Velcro strap. I will now apply the puppet and show how it works. First, the harness goes on. This harness then drapes through a letterbox in the jacket and clips to the interior of the plant pot. A similar harness is attached to the false arm, which prevents the shoulder from sliding out of position. The belt holds the plant's base to the puppeteer's waist. The arm harness goes on in the same manner as the pot harness. At this point, it's easiest for the puppeteer to put their hand into the pod. Hygiene sock in position. This is included simply because the stem of the plant is quilted and the performer's arm can get quite hot and sweaty and quite unpleasant. So the performer's arm goes into the jacket. The false arm sits onto the shoulder. See, this is why you need a dresser. There we go. Shoulder on the shoulder. The pod then onto the performer's hand. Slide that into position. The jacket masks the join between false arm and real arm. The hook of the elbow can then nestle in the pot. Just beneath the arm is a little letterbox for the clip to poke through, and then this clips down inside the pot, which takes the weight of the plant pot. Crook of the elbow then can hook into the plant pot, and the strap fixes over, which then prevents the plant from straying too far from home. The jacket can then be done up slightly by the dresser, and the gardening glove applied to the puppeteer's hand. This is so the illusion of the false arm and the live arm match. The puppet then can move its lips just ever so slightly so it can sneer at the audience. It can open its mouth with its little lifelike jiggly tongue, and then can come to life and lunge and snap and be far more mobile and active than the original Pod 2. How do you think that went? Do you think that went okay? Do you think they bought it? Yeah? Cool. What do you want for dinner? No, not me!